I feel like it's such a common and recurring feeling as a woman to feel like I should be more by now. And if this is how you feel, like you should be more successful by now, you should be more beautiful by now, you should be more arrived by now, you should be more at peace with yourself by now, you should be more this and that by now. This video is for you and for the future me who will go through that bridge again for sure at some point. And I don't just want to give you some positive thinking about it and what we usually hear when we feel behind and people tell us that no, you should not feel behind, everything arrives at the perfect time, and these kind of things doesn't really help and doesn't really describe what's happening. So we will dive into that, and I hope at the end of the video you'll not only feel different, but you'll really understand what you're going through. And I feel this is the most important, at least for people like me. I love to understand what I'm going through, you know? So positive thinking only without understanding, without digging into it doesn't work for me. And if you are the same and you are currently in that phase where you just thought you'd be a better version of you by now, please keep watching. So there is a strange grief that we rarely talk about when we realize that we are not standing where we thought that we would stand by now. And I remember it happened to me multiple times in my life where I felt behind, but I especially felt that with love, with my love life. And I met my now husband when I was 29, almost 30, because it was actually November and I'm born in December. So 1 month from my 30th birthday, I met my husband. But before that, can you imagine? I'm almost 30 years old and I cannot find love, and my love life is catastrophic. And I keep working on myself and trying to manifest, and I face failures and deceptions and figuring out this thing a little bit on my own, because it's always shameful for some reason to say that you want to find love or these kind of things. Those are real desires. I want to be beautiful, I want to be in love. I mean, those are real woman desires, but for some reason we are not allowed. And I don't want to be that person to be like, yeah, woman against man or something. But I realize that woman desires are usually more criticized or looked down on than man desires. Like if a man says that his dream is to have a sports car, everyone will be like, go get it, you know, yeah, make money, you're a provider, you will get your car, go, go, go. But if a woman says that she wants to be beautiful and to find love and these kind of things, we all like look at her like, she's so superficial, you know. Anyway, that's not even the point of the video, but I was almost 30, and the thing is that when you feel behind, it's not just you feeling behind. It's not just you comparing to what you see around you. It's the full society making you feel behind, making you feel like you don't have, or you are not standing where you should stand by now, whether it's with love, money, abundance, anything like that. And you are reminded over and over again that you are not where you should be. Like my dad was calling me and being like, okay, what's happening? Did you meet someone? I'm never going to be a grandpa, you know? And you're like, yeah, maybe. But what do you want? What is the alternative? Should I take the first guy that I meet and just make a baby with him so that you will feel better as a grandpa? You know, it doesn't work like that. So you just feel like kind of shitty, and you don't really know what to do with that feeling. You're just like, okay, what's wrong with me? Why I cannot reach that? Why I don't deserve it? And the thing is that when we feel like that, the problem is not just the delay. Like, I want to find love and I'm not finding love, and there is a delay until I find love. The problem is not just that. The problem is that we use that delay to tell something about ourselves, and we start creating reasons in our mind and proof in our mind, evidence that we are less. I cannot find love, and so I am less. I cannot reach abundance, and so I am less. I cannot arrive, I cannot feel beautiful, I cannot glow up, or whatever it is. So I am feeling less in that moment. Less than maybe other women my age, less than a woman, maybe, less than what people expect of me, less than what I expect of myself and my life. And the thing is that if you think about beauty, beauty deep down is a feeling of being the most. And I know it sounds weird when I say it like that, but just think about yourself when you see the most beautiful sunset in front of you. You're not like just, oh, this is a nice sunset. You know, no one says that. If there is nothing beautiful, you won't even notice it. You will walk under it and you won't say anything. But if you notice the beauty of a sunset, most of the time you'll be like, oh, this is one of the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen in my life. Let me take a photo, let's enjoy a moment under it. And you're like, this is one of the most beautiful, or if not, this is the most beautiful sunset I've seen in my life. Beauty is really linked to like this feeling of the most. When you see a very beautiful woman on the street, you're like, wow, this is one of the most beautiful women I've seen in my life. This beauty drives this feeling of the most. So when you start feeling less because of your circumstances or what you could not reach by now, you start removing your own beauty. By definition, in that moment, you start losing your shine just because you think of you as being less, which is the contrary of beauty. And when you start losing your beauty and your shine, it's not just a question of appearance, it's a question of attraction, manifestation, and what happens in your life starts shifting for the worst, because you are losing what makes you really attract your shine, your beauty, this feeling of just being beautiful as a human being. And like I said, the problem is also that when we start feeling like that, if we share that with someone or even with ourselves, that we feel behind, that we feel like we are not where we thought we would be by now, that we are not the version of us, that we are not the woman that we thought we would be by now, most people and even yourself inside would answer with positivity, like, no, come on, don't think like that, you're not behind, everything happens right on time, there is a reason for everything. And I know they do this to help, or we do this to ourselves to try to feel better, and maybe even convince ourselves, or maybe even your friend telling you that, try to convince herself that she is also not behind and that's okay, and she doesn't want to think like this uncomfortable feeling that, yeah, maybe I also wish that I would be further along by now. But simply using positivity without understanding what's happening, or even treating the wound, like, it's like putting a bandage on a wound but not treating the wound before, and it starts creating some bacteria and becoming even worse with time. So let's treat the wound together today, once and for all, so every time you will feel like this in the future, because you will. It's a normal and human emotion, okay? It's not something to be afraid of. It's a normal human emotion, but when you will understand what's happening and how to treat the wound, I swear to you, it will just be a fleeting emotion, just like crying in front of a romantic comedy, and that's it. It's lasting for a second, and then you switch to another emotion. So what you need to understand is that there are generally two situations. I'm sure we can find 1000 examples, but there are generally two big situation in which you will be when you will feel like that. Meaning, in both cases, you observe a delay between what you are or have in your reality and what you wish or what you thought that you would be or have or experience by now. And in both cases, it's out of comparison. It's not a bad word, but you need comparison to put a timing on an experience. Without comparison, you would not be able to know that you want this by now. by this age, by this time. Okay, so there is in any case like a delay, and this delay comes from some kind of reference that you have. Comparison doesn't mean that you observe other women and you compare, not always in that sense, but just in the sense that you have in mind a reference. Maybe the reference is what your mom experienced at her age, at your current age, you know. Maybe your reference is your grandma, maybe your reference is your friends, maybe your reference is social media, whatever, but you have in mind some kind of reference and comparison to feel that this is not the right timing for you. But then there is two different situations, and according to the situation, it's it's the total opposite what you should do. So that's why it's very important to understand. So the first situation is that you feel that you are behind and that you should be experiencing X, Y, and Z by now, because there is a clear blockage. There is some kind of real blockage in your life that you can perceive, and your soul kind of knows that she's here to experience that. So there is a real frustration, and this frustration is trying to lead you to make the necessary change to reach what your soul is here to experience. Maybe the change is in your mindset. Maybe the change is in your appearance. Maybe the change is in your awareness. Maybe the change is in your actions or embodiment, you know? But there is a change, and your system is trying to lead you to take that change. Now, the second situation that can happen when you feel like that you're behind and you should be experiencing X, Y, and Z, or having or being that kind of woman by now, is not a blockage, is that you're growing and seeing the next level, but you're not there yet. So you can see what you could experience, but you cannot really reach it. This creates impatience and frustration, but there is no blockage. It's just you not being able to relax and have faith in your own path to just go through that growth phase. So to give you a clear example so you really understand the two situations, because when you are inside of it, it's really hard to know, okay, am I experiencing a real blockage that I need to understand and like transcend to go through the next level, or am I just in a growth phase and in a transition and I need to have faith and keep moving in the same direction and keep embodying to reach that level that I'm already seeing? Imagine that the first situation is that you want a baby, but you are not able to be pregnant, and you feel that there is a real blockage for you to be pregnant, but you still cannot understand what, and it's leading you to make a change, maybe in your diet, maybe in your mindset, maybe in your home, maybe in your embodiment or whatever, for you to be able to be pregnant and then to have a baby. The first situation is a real blockage. You can see that you are not able to reach what you would like. The second situation would be the case of a woman who is already pregnant and at the end of it, but the baby doesn't want to come out, you know? And she's like, oh, why this baby is not coming out? And just, it's the growth process. You are in the process. It will come. Just relax and have faith, you know? So these are the two situations that can happen. And the difficulty, like I said, is when you are in the middle of it, it's very hard to understand, okay, is there a real blockage, or is it a normal growth transition phase and I need to relax and have faith? And honestly, most of the time you won't be able to really know at first without an external person, which is also something that I do in my job. You know, my job is to have this external eye for my clients, to help them, guide them, because I can see where they stand, where they need to go. Do I need to offer them? That's the reason sometimes people ask me, what is your method? You know, I don't have a method, because maybe what you know right now is faith, and maybe what you know right now it's really changed something, and it's two different paths, and I can only tell you when I meet you and I feel it, you know. So most of the time you won't know, and that's okay, because time will tell. But the sooner you can understand it, the sooner you can take the right action to move forward and pass that period. So the way I see it is that you have plateaus of self concept. Okay, I will try to make a drawing. I don't promise anything. I hope you will understand me. But yeah, you have some plateaus of self concept. Keep in mind that none of it is so linear, everything is like this, but imagine this on a plateau, okay? And then you have a growth curve, and this growth curve, same, it's not linear, it's like this, but it's going up to another plateau where you experience another reality, another identity, another self concept. A blockage will generally happen at the end of a plateau for you to be able to go on the journey of growth, because growth is uncomfortable. No one wants to really change. Your ego wants everything to stay the same because it's safe. He knows it, he controls it in that plateau. So your ego doesn't want to take that road. That road seems dangerous, So you will experience a blockage right here, because that blockage will push you to feel so much frustration that you want to take a change to release that frustration feeling, and then you can take on the growth journey. Whereas the frustration that is not a blockage but a need for you to keep faith and keep moving with your embodiment will happen at the end of the growth phase, because this is the moment that you start to see the next plateau, but you cannot reach it yet. And so there is a frustration that, why do I see that and I feel like that inside of me, but I still cannot have what I feel I deserve and I should have. So how are you experiencing a blockage, or are you experiencing, let's say, a lack of faith and just a delay that is normal process? Is that, do you feel that you are in a stagnant phase? And when I say stagnant, I don't mean just like boring or nothing happens or something like that, but just you are in a like constant self concept, like there is no big transition happening. You are just living your daily life, going to work, working, seeing your friends, doing everything that you want, traveling even, why not? But your life is following its course, kind of. And you have a sudden frustration for something that your heart really desires on a soul searching level? Or do you feel like you are on a growth phase, transition phase? Maybe you experienced a breakup recently, maybe you experienced moving abroad, maybe you experienced just a new chapter in general, becoming a mom, whatever. Like there is some kind of transition happening. You can feel like things are moving, something is different, your identities are shifting, there is a growth phase. And the desire that you have, or that you would like to have or be by now, is not something that is sudden. It's something that grew with time, maybe in the last weeks, months, even years. It grew with time because you are going closer and closer to that next plateau. And the closer you go, the clearest you can see the next level and what you should be experiencing by now. And so your desire, of course, you really want that desire also, but in comparison with the blockage phase, in that moment, it's not really a desire that your soul is searching for. It's more like a desire that you feel like you would deserve by now. So, for example, for me, when I started desiring meeting my partner, it was a very soul searching feeling. Like, I don't just want a boyfriend, I don't just want to meet someone. I really feel on my soul that I want to love and be loved and meet my person, and really like share life with someone like deeply, on a deeper level. And I was on a stagnant moment of my life, not because nothing was happening. I was seeing my friends, I was living abroad. I mean, it was a really nice moment of my life, but my life was following its course. Like, it was, I won't say boring, because it was not boring, but it was just the everyday life. I was getting up, meditating, working. I was still studying in that moment Ayurveda. I was seeing my friends and repeating, Of course, there can be growth still in that stagnant linear phase. Sorry, it's not linear, but in that plateau, there can be growth. I was growing my mindset. I was having breakthrough. I was realizing some things. I was peeling the layers of my identities. I was doing manifestations. Of course, you are still growing at any moment of your life, but I was not in a like transition phase where something big changed or my identity switched from one day to another or something like that. So it was a desire because, yes, I really desired to find my person, but it was also a desire here to help me move to another phase and reach another plateau in my life. So, for example, in that moment, I could guess that, okay, I'm really having a blockage with love and I should work on it, which I did. For 5 months, I focused on really manifesting and love. And it's not about just making a list of all the things that I want in a partner, it's all the things that I want for myself to experience, and it's all the things that I need to allow myself to embody from now on to find my person. And for 5 months, I did that job, and I had limiting beliefs about love and definition of love that was completely outdated and not serving me. For example, I was perceiving love as a prison, and of course, even I wanted it consciously, unconsciously, I was pushing it away. So all of that I had to clean and liberate, and this is what helped me find my partner, but especially being able to go to another level of identity and through the growth that was so uncomfortable for me to just go through without any reason to go through, because I have my life. I was living in Belgrade at the moment. I have my friends, I have my life, I have my apartment. Why would I change anything? Why would I want to grow from that, you know, in that moment? So this is how you can guess, okay, I am experiencing a blockage, or am I experiencing a normal um, desire because I'm just seeing the next level and I need to keep faith and embodiment. And a second example would be closer to now, because I'm in a growth period. I don't know if I already announced it on the channel when I record this, but whatever, you will learn it. Like I'm pregnant right now. I'm about to become a mom, so I am experiencing a growth phase. I am experiencing a transition phase. I'm not in a stagnant moment anymore. I'm in that line, and I can see the next plateau. I can already embody from that level. And this is also because I already operate and embody from that level, that I'm taking the road to it and advancing on that road. But the truth is that I'm not quite still there yet. And so, for example, right now I'm feeling like I would deserve to be more abundant by now. I would deserve to create more money by now. But why I feel like this? Because I'm seeing the level where I make more money. I'm seeing the level where I'm more abundant, and I already operate and embody from that level. So for me, it's normal that I deserve that, but I cannot get the reward because I'm still actually on that end of the line transition. And how I can understand it is that money is not a soul searching desire for me. Be careful, it doesn't depend the desire. I'm not saying that love is a soul searching desire and money is not. Okay, for some women at some point in their life, they would feel like abundance is a soul searching desire. And for some other women, love will be like just, I won't say like nothing, but not a soul searching. Like they just want to find a partner, they just want to have fun, they just want to find love, but it's not going to their soul. It's just a level of, okay, I feel like I would deserve to have love by now. Can you see the difference? It's very hard to explain, but I hope you can understand with my examples. Like, even if I desire more abundance right now, I can sense that it's a frustration from me feeling like I would deserve, knowing myself, being inside of myself, feeling the woman that I am inside, I would deserve to have more money by now. I would deserve to be way more abundant than I am right now. Which doesn't mean that I'm not happy with where I am right now, but I just see the level that, I didn't reach yet, and it's very frustrating. But it's not like my soul is missing anything really. So the thing is that if you are in the first case and there is a real blockage that you need to transcend, just using positive thinking will not help you and even frustrate you more, because you can feel that there is something to transcend. It's not just about being positive. And the thing is that you can be as positive as you want until you make the necessary change that your system is trying to guide you towards. You will still experience that delay in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years. You will stay stuck on the same self concept level. So listen to yourself, listen to that frustration. If you understood that there is a blockage, understand where you need to make a change, because that's where you can unlock not just the desire that your soul desires, but the next level, the next plateau. And right now you cannot think of another level of self concept. But when you reach it and you see your old self concept, you're like, oh, I wish I'd reached that way sooner. So don't listen to the positivity. It's not time for you to just relax and let the time do its thing, because time won't help you in that phase. But now, if you're in the second case and you're in a transition phase, in a growth phase, and you are seeing the next level but still not quite reaching it, I know how frustrating it can be. I can tell you I'm in the middle of it right now. But we need to learn to rest in the in between. That's a normal uncomfort of moving, evolving, growing. And the truth is that life is made of 50-50. 50% of the time you will be on the plateau, and 50% of the time you will be in the growth phase. And so you cannot reject 50% of your life, because in the end, this is still life worth living. Nothing is really missing. You're just in the process of becoming, growing. There is no real urgency. The finish line, sorry to say it, but it's death. That's the only moment where this game will stop. Hello, where do you think you're running like that? The finish line is death. So if another woman has what you wish to have right now, if you are comparing yourself, if you are seeing evidence of people moving further along than you by now, well, clap for them. Bravo. You're further along than me. You're closer to the finish line than me. Bravo for you. But there is nothing really to envy. So I hope whatever situation you're in right now, the blockage or the growth phase and transition phase, you understand that you have the power in the situation. If you can understand what's happening, you can reclaim your power, and also absolutely refrain, whichever case you're in, to define yourself and let your desire become the next evidence of all that you're missing or not being, or interpreting your own definition of yourself through that lens. Okay, babe, you got this. See you in the next one.